Good morning, good afternoon for another very special edition of WOWSA Live with our host, Ned Dennison.
Hello, everyone. I'm the chairperson of the International Marathon Swimming Hall of Fame. We have a special guest and honoree, Colin Hill, with us today. But the reason we are interviewing him is he has been awarded with the Davids Wheeler Award from the International Swimming Hall of Fame for excellence in the administration of open water swimming events. So, Colin, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Ned and Stephen. I'm absolutely honored for this. It's amazing. So to be given an award like this from your peers is something special. Thank you.
And in Florida, there's a silver plate, which is kind of about this big on the wall. It's bigger than a lot of cars in France, and somewhere in there, your name will be scratched in. You won't have any trouble finding the plate, and it'll be nice for you to go see that with your family at some point.
Absolutely.
I want to give everybody a small highlight of Colin's role and accomplishments. Way back when he was busy working with people doing running marathons, he led the introduction of a mass participation swim called the Great North Swim. And within a couple of years, there was a great East Swim and a great South Swim, and there were lots of these great swims. The important thing is that within a very short period of time, tens of thousands of people were doing a 1 mile open water swim. And out of that group have come hundreds and hundreds of people pushing on longer distances. From there, Colin was tapped to be the technical operations manager for the 2012 Olympics in London. Beijing was an incredible success. London had an opportunity to move that up a notch because the event was being held in the city center in the famous Serpentine in the middle of a park in London. And the event went off without a hitch, and the buzz around the sport, the push on from Beijing was absolutely amazing. In and around the same time, which is all combination of and mass swims, thousands of people have participated. And then finally, for the past few years, he's been a consultant and media coordinator for all of the FINA international events around the world. So he has literally been at every single one of those events you read about, from Doha to Hong Kong to Portugal to wherever it might have been. Colin, did I leave out anything particularly impressive in your resume besides beating me in an endurance ice swim?
You still hold that grudge, Nate. It's amazing. No, I think the only other thing was the European Championships a couple of years ago, where I was technical operations manager in Loch Lomond's. And that was a great event because we obviously had the 5K, 10K, 25K and team relay to organize. And it was quite a challenging event to put on. But again, what I want to do is create this showcase, this sort of amphitheater where the sport can be shown at its best. And we had to dredge a bay to allow the swimmers to come in front of all the spectators. So yes, I was quite proud of that one as well. But no, that's a great summary of a lot of years being involved in the sport.
So when I called Colin to give him a heads up on this last week, it was a bit windy. He was dressed in his heavy weather gear, and he was taking the call from an escort boat, and I presume Oldsmere or Ullswater or Windermere. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that call, your reaction, and did you lose the swimmer while we were chatting?
No, I was guiding somebody across Ullswater. What I do where I'm based now, I do length of leg swims, but also for people who sort of just building up the open water swims, I do cross leg swims, so just a mile. And it's often hotel guests with not that much experience. So I give them a real feel of what it's like to do sort of an open water swim and, to really get involved in the sport. So yeah, so I was in my support, but I had somebody else on the boat as well who's keeping a close eye on the swimmer, don't worry. And I saw your name come through. I was trying catch your calls, Ned, because it's normally something exciting. And so, yeah, the guy was just having a bit of a break when you called. So he was treading water when I took the call. But yeah, I was completely in my Helly Hansen cross waterproof to sort of guide them across the lake. And it's great, so pretty much every day I'm in the water, on the water, actively involved in the sort of the doing part of the sport, as well as the organization stuff, which I also do. So
nice. Somebody goes to the Lake District, they've got their hiking boots, their funky German shorts, their all-weather gear, their hat and their glasses, and they go fell walking. And I guess on morning two, they're down having their breakfast and they see a little note on the board that says, you know, fancy swimming across the lake, wetsuit and boat to be supplied. Is it literally how it works?
That is exactly how it works. Yeah. So the hotel's got, you know, lots of guests who come up just to, with families, just to experience the Lake District. And when they're there, yeah, I've literally got, as you said, I've got a blackboard on the wall, and on there it's got cold water swims. I do night swims, full moon swims, introduction to open water, cold water. So yeah, so I do everything so people can just come along and have a go, try swimming. It's nice doing it on that small scale rather than these sort of huge events which I've been involved with, you know, with thousands of people. Just doing these one-on-one things, I quite enjoy now.
So you get to worry about one person in the water and working that you're in.
That's tomorrow. Cancel events, like sadly it's happened a few times this year, then it's a much bigger deal.
So you get one unhappy phone call, not 500.
Yeah, or 1,000 or thousands. You know, this year I also work for London Marathon, where I organise the Swim Serpentine event, which is a legacy from the Olympics. And so every year London Marathon puts on this open water swim event in Hyde Park, and you know we have 6,000 people in one day swimming around the Serpentine. But sadly, yeah, this year for the first time we had to cancel the events, obviously due to COVID. So it's a big deal when you cancel those things because people are desperate to get out there and to do something. And, you know, so it's a real shame. It's been a tough year for everybody.
And of those 6,000, there's probably 50 who have booked international flights just to do that event, taking a little touring of London. So it's, you know, it's hotels, it's flight, it's kiddie care, it's a whole lot that's happening in their lives.
Oh, absolutely. And from an event organizer's point of view, I've got hundreds of safety kayakers on standby who've taken the weekend off. We've got hotels booked, you know, we've got marquee companies, you know, there's just a raft of things to go into the organization of these big events, you know, so that's been tough, you know, as well as obviously the FINA events not happening this year. That's been really hard as well, you know, so my heart really goes out to all the elite athletes who, you know, this was an Olympic year, they were building up for it. Some had qualified, some were trying to qualify. And it's great to be on the circuit with all those swimmers. But yeah, really tough that, you know, all the international events like that have been cancelled.
So for the viewers, one of the things I want you to cast your mind back is 10, 15 years ago, there's an incredibly distinguished club of open water swimmers at Serpentine. I'll pick a number of 200. I don't know the exact number, but there's groups of them swimming in mornings. They've got some events annually. Fast forward 15 years from leadership from people like Colin, 6,000 people swimming in the Serpentine. And you get some idea of the explosion of the sport and some small appreciation why we've given Colin another call and given him yet another honor to go with his induction for the past few years. Colin, tell us about COVID and what it's done to your personal life this year.
Well, I mentioned briefly there, one of my main roles is working for FINA as the open water swim consultant, and I go to every single 10K around the world for the FINA Marathon Swim World Series. And there I'm trying to promote the sport. I'm interviewing the elite athletes. I'm doing live coverage and Facebook posts at the finish, just trying to really get a bit of buzz. And yes, all those events got cancelled after Doha. And so, you know, that was very tough. And as I said, you know, it's not about me, it's about all the athletes. That's why it's really hard. And then personally, you know, I invested in an endless pool this year. I built an endless pool and it was all ready to go the week before England's first lockdown. So that pool was sort of sat there with no clients or guests and quite a big investment for me. So, you know, just managed to get that opened and start to get people coming to it, and it's closed down again. So that pool I've just been in there myself. So it sort of keeps me busy, which is nice. So yeah, I get to do my sessions. Yeah, so, you know, I had literally the other day, just after I spoke to you, I was sitting at my computer, literally just deleting all of the, you know, the events that could happen this month and all the sort of training sessions and just going through deleting every one. So like everyone's been tough, but particularly for people like myself, small businesses, limited companies, you know, there's just no help. And so literally we just have to stop, you know, and yeah, tough times for everyone involved in the events industry and the swimming industry as well, because, you know, pools are closed, that's it. You know, you can go in the open water as an individual, you can't take groups. So, but we'll get through it. You know, it's the sport of open water swimming is in a great position. You know, so that's one of the good things. There's more and more people than ever before doing open water swimming now. from the ground up, from people who in the past might have just swum in a pool. Now they're open water swimmers, they're doing groups and clubs. And so, yeah, so I'm not too worried. Once this is over with, people want to get in the outdoors and they want to embrace, the joy of swimming in the outdoors.
I'd also add one more thing to that, which some people might not appreciate, but you'll smile, is in addition to what we call swimmers, there are tens of thousands of what I call dippers. They go down to the open water in their wetsuits. They get in, they go about 10 meters from wherever they got in groups of 2, 3, 5, 10, and they chat for 20 minutes, do a little bit of breaststroke, not going very far. They come back with the biggest smiles on their faces, and they literally take a dip every day. And I see them in Cork, Ireland. I see them in Dublin at the 40-foot. And it's actually getting a challenge to get through them, to get a proper swim in sometimes, because there's so many of them.
Yeah, and there's more and more press articles. It seems to be the BBC constantly have these articles about, the benefits of cold water swimming. From the last one was Alzheimer's and just general well-being, helping with depression. I think, all these articles are coming around the press quite often. So I think that just gets in people's psyche, and they think, the lake's right there. Why not go down for a dip? And it's such a sociable thing for these people, as you said. It's not about the long distance things. It's just about being with a group of people, going in, having a dip and feeling great for the rest of the day. So good on them. It's great.
So I want you to cast your mind back to when you were selling the concept of this great North Swim. Did you ever imagine that you would make your career after that from this sport?
No, it was really, it's so clear in my head when it all happened. It was kind of one of those eureka moments. The great run, who I used to work for, I used to be sort of race director for live televised international cross-country runs, live BBC. One time I was involved in putting the track down the centre of Manchester for Usain Bolt to run down. So I was doing all these big glitzy, half marathon runs with 30,000, 50,000 people. And at the time, the company was looking to expand. And I remember swimming. I'd just done a British Long Distance Swim Association race in Windermere, which I loved. But, there was like 50 of us there. We finished in the car park. There was somebody waiting for us. And, it was a lovely event. But the following weekend, I was at a big mass race. And then I was in the swimming pool near where I used to work in the morning. And there's all these people just swimming up and down the pool. We go every morning, and they're all regulars. And then I remember thinking, well, surely there's something I can do with open water swimming to incorporate all the glitz and glamour of these, these marathon runs. And, back then people forget so quickly, but back in 2007, you couldn't just enter an open water swimming race. There was triathlons, but just to be able to go online, enter a race, it just wasn't, just really difficult to do. I mean, for the British Long Distance Swim Association, who I still love, but, back then you had to send your check off, and your check had to be with them a month before with the name of the person who was guiding you in the boats. And if it was late, they would send it back to you, So it was, they kept the sport going for years and years, but it wasn't just this sort of, anybody can come along, wetsuit or not. So I pitched the meeting to all the directors about this mass swim that I wanted to do. And I literally got heckled in the meeting by a few people saying it's not going to work. You'll get 20 people there. It's a waste of time. But Brendan Foster, who owned the company, he's an ex-Olympic runner. He said to me, look, go away. If you can find a location and you can get some location sponsorship, then, why not give it a go? So I knew I wanted to be in the Lake District, and hotel who I knew well, the Lowood, they sort of said, yeah, they didn't know what they let themselves in for. They said, yeah, sure, you can have a swim, out in a lawn, it'll be fine. And my pitch was, we should not market this to triathletes. We shouldn't market to swimming clubs. We had to go for the swimming pools. And we had to get all those people who I would see every morning breaststroking up and down and get them to get involved. And that's how we get the numbers. And I really think that's how it worked, by ignoring the people who, the triathlons and the swimming clubs, and getting this sort of groundswell of people who would never normally do an open. So that's really pitched it as, and that's what we did. We, those posters up in every swimming pool, just trying to get them to come along to this Great North Swim in Windermere. And the idea was wetsuit optional. It wasn't going to be a snob either way. You can wear wetsuits, you don't have to wear wetsuits. It was a mile distance, pretty achievable. We had food. It was, really trying to make it sort of, bit of glitz and glamour, lots of water safety so people felt comfortable and felt like they're being looked after. And so when the event happens, for the launch of the event, I got an unknown called Kerry-Ann Payne, who was about to go to the Olympics, and she came along to help launch the event. And, you know, at the time, obviously, Kerry-Ann wasn't a household name. And so she came along, launched the event, and then post-Beijing, when the event happened, we had Mark Foster, who carried the flag for Great Britain, and obviously a sprinter. Kerry-Ann Payne was there with her silver medal. Cassie Patton with her bronze medal. David Davis is there with his silver medal. We had Martin there with his gold medal. All these athletes from the Olympics were there as well, representing the elite end of the sport. And then the first year we had 2,200 people taking part, which was incredible for year one. And from that point on, you know, things just seemed to change. When I used to swim in the Lake District, I would never see another swimmer when I used to swim in the lakes. And now, you know, every weekend there's swimmers, there's swimming clubs, there's shops selling swimming kits. You know, through that time from 2008, it's just changed beyond recognition with, you know, there's events happening every weekend all over the country. And it's just, in the UK, I think the amazing thing here is just the amount of people who would never consider themselves a swimmer now call themselves open water swimmers. So it's been great. It's been a great legacy. I was really proud to sort of come up with that idea and for the company to help back me and pushing on that swim. And from that point, I remember the Olympics, Charlotte O'Neill, who's in charge of the aquatics team there, she was looking for somebody who'd had experience with sort of television as well as the sport itself. Because you've got to remember, things like the Olympics, it's not just about the sport, you're putting on a show. And that's why I got involved in the Olympics, really, because I was used to working on these televised running events, but also the open water events. And they wanted somebody who understood that it's not just what the technical officials want, it's not just what the elites want, it's not just what the TV want. It's it's getting all those together to create the best show for everybody. And yeah, and that was it. Sort of went on from there. So from humble beginnings of, you know, just an idea of doing this race, it just grew and grew, and the sport just seems to have kept growing as I've, you know, keep being involved in it. So yeah, so great fun.
Let me give a plug to the Lake District. I'll tell a personal story. Last year, 3 of us from Cork, Ireland, decided we'd go over and swim Windermere. It's a 10.5-mile swim, lake swim. We're primarily ocean swimmers, but fair enough. An easy flight from Cork to Manchester Airport. We rented a couple of cars. We drove, an hour and a half north, checked into a nice hotel. We met some friends. They dragged us over to Ullswater for a bit of a warm-up swim. Beautiful, beautiful, you know, drive, the location, scenic, incredible. And the mass swim in Windermere, when you went on to book it, it said, you know, what's your credit card number? Do you need a canoe or not? You booked it in less than 5 minutes. And I think they were about 400 swimmers or something, an incredible number of swimmers. I didn't think there were that many kayaks in the world. And the lake was taken over by boats and kayaks and swimmers. The slowest swimmer started off first, and literally a swimmer went every 15 or 20 seconds. So there wasn't any real congestion. We had a fabulous dinner in a nice restaurant after the event. We did a bit of touring around the area, drove back to Manchester Airport and flew down to Cork. It was absolutely a fabulous swimming holiday in a beautiful place. English language was easy. We managed to figure it out.